Alex Eala crushes Magdalena Fręch in jaw-dropping fashion at the 2026 Italian Open, then battles back from the brink. There are days when everything clicks. And then there are days that remind you why tennis is the ultimate drama. On Wednesday at the Foro Italico in Rome, 20-year-old Alexandra Eala delivered one of the most shocking opening sets in recent Italian Open history, before the match turned into a full-blown war that tested every ounce of her resilience. Nobody saw this roller coaster coming. On paper, it looked like a dangerous trap. Alex Eala, ranked world number 42 and carrying the hopes of the Philippines, stepped onto the red clay for her first-round match against Poland's Magdalena Fręch, ranked number 45. Fręch was no pushover, a 28-year-old veteran with a career-high ranking of number 22, a WTA 500 title under her belt, Guadalajara 2024, and deep runs at Grand Slams, including the fourth round of the Australian Open. This was their first-ever meeting. On paper, it screamed danger, competitive, unpredictable, and uncomfortable. Eala's recent clay form hadn't inspired much confidence either. She suffered early exits in Madrid, Austria, and Stuttgart, managing just 2 wins in her last 5 matches. Fręch, meanwhile, had struggled with 4 straight first-round losses since her Prague runner-up finish in 2024. 2 wounded players. 2 hungry competitors. One question hanging in the Roman spring air: who wanted it more? The bagel that shocked Rome. What happened in the first set defied every expectation. Eala came out like a player possessed. From the very first point, she unleashed aggression and precision that simply didn't match her recent struggles. Drop shots, searing ground strokes into the corners, sharp footwork on the clay, surfaces that had been her biggest challenge suddenly looked like home. The result? A 6-0 bagel. A complete shutout on clay at a WTA 1000 event against a season top 50 player who once cracked the top 22. Fręch, an experienced title winner, couldn't find a single game. Errors piled up. Momentum never arrived. Eala cruised through the set with purpose and authority that left the Foro Italico buzzing. Social media exploded. 6-0 on clay? Filipinos around the world were losing their minds. For a moment, it looked like this would be a routine statement victory. But tennis rarely lets you have it that easy. The collapse and the fight the second set told a completely different story. Fręch regrouped. She found her rhythm, cleaned up her errors, and started pushing Eala around the court. The Polish veteran broke back, seized control, and took the set 6-3. Suddenly, the match was level. The easy narrative vanished. The decider became pure grit. Eala found herself down 1-3 early in the third. The momentum had fully swung. The crowd grew tense. But this is where the 20-year-old from Manila showed exactly why she's built for the big stage. She dug deep. She reset. She started winning points one by one, grinding through long rallies, using her improved movement on clay to turn defense into attack. From 1-3 down, Eala reeled off 5 straight games, breaking Fręch's resistance with patience, power, and that trademark composure. Final score: 6-0, 3-6, 6-4, a first-round victory at the Italian Open, her first career win in Rome. A match that lasted over 2 hours and showcased everything: brilliance, vulnerability, and unbreakable fight. What this means: this wasn't just a win. It was a statement. Eala proved she can dominate on clay when everything clicks, and more importantly, she proved she can battle through the mess when it doesn't. Against a dangerous veteran, in tough conditions, with a potentially brutal draw ahead, possible second-round clash with Wang Xinyu, and a potential third-round meeting with Elena Rybakina, she found a way. The Philippines is celebrating. The tennis world is taking notice. And Alex Eala heads into the second round with momentum, confidence, and the knowledge that she can win ugly when she has to. The clay season is just getting started. And this Filipino star is far from finished. What a way to open Rome 2026. The journey continues. Eala's unstoppable start, the veteran fight back, and the heart-stopping decider. A 3-act thriller in Rome. Eala was absolutely unstoppable. She raced to a 5-0 lead, serving for the bagel with total command. Every point told the same story: Eala on the front foot, dictating with aggression and precision, while Fręch scrambled, unable to find rhythm, unable to build a rally, and unable to win even a single game. Think about what that 6-0 bagel actually meant in context. This wasn't a qualifier or a junior match. Magdalena Fręch is a battle-hardened professional, a former world number 22, a WTA 500 champion, Guadalajara 2024, and a player who has beaten top 10 opponents. Yet on the red clay of the Foro Italico, a 20-year-old in just her fourth clay tournament of the season completely shut her out in the opening set. The Foro Italico crowd was buzzing. Filipino fans from Manila to Cebu were erupting online. The early narrative wrote itself. Alexandra Eala has finally found her clay game at the perfect time, right before Roland Garros. But tennis, as always, had other plans. This is where the match stopped being a highlight reel and turned into a real story. Magdalena Fręch is not the type of player who quietly accepts humiliation. She has spent years grinding through the tour, and she wasn't about to let her Italian Open end after one bad set. Something shifted between sets, whether tactical, psychological, or simply veteran pride refusing to go down without a fight. Whatever it was, it worked. Fręch broke Eala early in the second set and raced to a 2-0 lead. She held for 3-0, then broke again, helped by an Eala double fault, to go up 4-1. The momentum had completely flipped. The player who looked lost and error-prone in the first set suddenly came alive. Her forehand found its range, her serve clicked, including an ace to close it out, and she took the second set 6-3. Just like that, the bagel was ancient history. The match was level at 1-all, and every doubt from Eala's recent clay struggles in Stuttgart, Linz, and Madrid came rushing back. Could she close? Could she handle adversity? Could she produce when the pressure was no longer one-sided? The third set carried a completely different weight. No margin for error. Every game, every point, every break chance felt massive. Both players traded holds early, feeling each other out in the Roman afternoon heat. The momentum, which had already swung wildly twice, hung in the balance. This was no longer about rankings or styles, it was about nerves, character, and who wanted it more. Eala eventually edged ahead 4-3 after Fręch made a costly error. That break felt huge until it didn't. Fręch fought back immediately, leveling at 4-4 with strong serving and forcing Eala onto the defensive. The match was on a knife edge. The bagel felt like it had happened in another lifetime. This was Eala at her most vulnerable, a young player still forging her mental armor against a seasoned pro who had been in these exact battles many times before. But then came the championship sequence. Eala held serve for 5-4. In the next game, with Fręch's forehand misfiring, Eala reached match point at 40-15. One final error from Fręch, forehand long, and it was over. Final score: Alexandra Eala def. Magdalena Fręch 6-0, 3-6, 6-4. A demolition in the first set. A scare in the second. A champion's survival in the third. In one afternoon on the clay of the Foro Italico, Eala showed the full package. Dominance when she's on, vulnerability when she's not, and the fighting spirit to come through when it matters most. This was her first ever main draw win at the Italian Open. She now advances to the second round to face 31st seed Xin Wang of China, a rematch from the Auckland semi-final earlier this year, where Wang came out on top. The drama is far from over. This wasn't just a first-round victory. It was a three-act story that sent a loud message to the rest of the draw, and to Roland Garros waiting down the road. The most compelling opening match of the 2026 Italian Open didn't end with a simple result. It ended with proof that Alexandra Eala is ready for the big stages. The journey continues.